Hey, it's Teapot. So as you can see in the background, I've done a little bit of work on the house, and let me tell you, mangrove wood is probably the toughest wood to harvest of all the woods in Minecraft. It is just miserable trying to find all of those logs hidden in those bundles of leaves. And then, of course, once you get that last piece of wood, all the leaves start crumbling. You may have noticed from the intro that the iron golem that we had died. We had a pillager infestation. I was able to kill quite a few of the pillagers, but unfortunately, they did get the golem. He had been looking a bit the worse for wear. So I've got a loom here, and I'm going to go ahead and create a little something to honor our pillager. So I'm going to go ahead and create, not honor the pillager, honor the our iron golem. So I'm going to create a white banner, and we're going to go ahead and do some decorations. See, do I have everything that I need? I don't. I need some red dye. So I have something here that'll give me red dye. And then I've got an oxeye daisy and I've got a sheet of paper, which means I should be able to make a flower charge, which I'm actually going to need for this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to, actually, let me get my red dye first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my banner, I'm going to take my flower charge, and I'm going to make a red spot in the middle. Then once I've done that, I'm going to take some light gray dye, and I'm actually going to cover up the bottom third of this. And then I'm going to take some of this dark gray dye, and I'm going to make a little stripe down the middle. And then I should go ahead and make a border out of the light gray dye. And once I've got this, I'm going to go ahead and make a cover up the top half of this with dark gray. It's going to be this part, I think. Yeah. And then I believe I should be able to cover the top third with light gray. So I do have a little banner here that represents my little iron golem. I'm going to go out to where our iron golem died and give my respects both to the golem and to the villagers. So I also did feed the villagers, and so here our little iron golem is always going to be watching over our village in spirit, if not in reality. I gave some food to my villagers. Still have 2 farmers here, and I had a 3rd villager that was hiding around here, so I may actually have to go a little bit longer than the night just to make sure that this they actually do end up breeding a iron golem. So that's going to be one of the things that we're going to hope for today. The other thing is, if you notice, we are at the end stage when it comes to our wood collection. Our wood, we have 9 of the 10 types of wood. The only thing that we're currently missing is the pale oak. And we've actually started incorporating some of our designs. So if you come inside the house here, you notice that I've got a nice spruce wall here, which actually leads up to a space on our roof so that we can look over our domain to help us to look out for certain things. And then, of course, on the roof, I've used some of the mangrove, and I've also used a little of the acacia to give the look of some worn shingles. But other than that, our house is looking pretty good here. Eventually, when I start getting stone, I think this is probably going to end up being a nice little fireplace area. I'll be able to put some stone around one of these furnaces and maybe put some stone walls to make it look like a chimney. I'll go ahead and put a campfire on top to make it look like it's smoking. But yeah, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and start our journey looking for the elusive pale oak. Looks like we found another. Is this just a regular village or an abandoned village? It's got the mossy, so I'm wondering if it's abandoned. No? It looks fairly good. Looks fairly decent. There's a campfire here, and the campfire is still glowing. There's just mossy, and I'm not used to seeing mossy unless it's an abandoned village, but the village extends down a bit. Oh, there is a villager here, so we do have a live village here. Have to keep an eye on those cords and maybe come back. But yeah, lots of mossy stone here. If we ever get the ability to do some stone tools, we'll be able to get the mossy out here. All right, so I'm not going to say I'm not triggered, but I am slightly triggered just because the polar bears were such a bear the last time we came into some frozen lands. But I'm going to try and avoid bears whenever I can. We'll just cross these wastes. We get some of these snowballs. Make life kind of fun. This is a much bigger dark forest than what we had found earlier, so hoping we can find some better stuff than last time. Last time we were rather disappointed. I think we found like 6 dark oak trees. We've got quite a few here now. So I'm going to go around it and see if we see something around it, although seeing some birch in the middle is a little disconcerting, but we are actually seeing the mushrooms, which we weren't able to see before. Hello, cows. So this dark oak is a little bit bigger than what we had seen before. It looks like there's a jungle over there off to the left. Is that a jungle or is that pale oak? Because pale oak does have things that hang as well. I think it probably would be worth investigating. Quick peek of our cords. Got this wonderful little river here. This is interesting, this little canopy here. It goes into this cave, this exposed cave. Maybe we can go around without falling too deep into it, like this cow. But yeah, it does look like we found our pale oak. So it looks like we found a pit that we almost fell into, which would have been frustrating. But yeah, let's start reaping some of these rewards. We definitely can use some of this moss. I don't know if we can get any of this hanging moss. I don't think we can. But we can get to our first tree. So here we are. These are the chords. We'll go ahead and denote where we are. We'll start chopping down our tree. We've got our first pale oak. So this does complete our saga, although I won't really consider it complete until we brought some saps back to home. Of course, we are going to want to have at least 4 saps in order to grow these trees, but we definitely are going to want more. Also, we're not going to be able to get the hearts until we get Silk Touch, which is until we find something exciting from a chest somewhere, or until we get to the enchanting, which is way far off. And unfortunately, Dark Oak and Pale Oak are going to behave the same way. It's going to be very difficult to get some saps. There's one. Let's go ahead and make sure we get that one. All right. So at this point we have, where is it? We have 2 pale oak saplings. Let's go ahead and work to get some more. And this is why we want to get 8 saps, because the drop rates are just kind of abysmal. But there is our 8th sapling. So let's go ahead and chop our way down this tree. So I guess the only other thing that we would really need to make sure we get while we're here are the flowers. They're going to be hard to see during the daytime because they're just gray. They don't really blossom until nighttime. But if we can find one, we can bring it home, and it would be a nice symbol of conquest. And I could use bone meal to bring some up, but I have 2 bones right now on me. I got them from skeletons when I let the night overcome for a bit. And I really would like to try and catch a dog if I see one on the way home. So right now we're just looking around for any of those bloom blossoms or whatever they're called. Haven't found any. And it may just end up being a fruitless effort. We have plenty of bone meal at home, so I think we're going to leverage that to get the remaining aspects of moss that we need. So I think it's probably time we go ahead and start heading on back to the hacienda. I hate bears. What we're going to do is we're going to skirt around this ice. So hopefully we won't incur the wrath of the bears. Got a sword and an axe in my hotbar, and I've got a boat there as well, so I may just end up capturing a bear in a boat if it does attack me. Got some black sheep here. Got these cliffs on either side of a frozen river. A little scary. And that is really scary. Let's take a breather. Let's heal up. Hey, it's a puppy dog. How about we try and get our first puppy dog? We have 2 bones. Come on. Aw, don't go away, puppy. I get my first wolf. Hopefully we can get... If it didn't run... Well, let's go. 1, 2. Darn. Okay. Well, no wolf on this journey. Let's make sure we're heading back in the right direction. Both those numbers are getting smaller. Well, we jump into the water here. All right. See the path? Looks like a path we should trot on. And yeah, this is our own village. Our farmer should be off here to the left. Just a few steps. Yep, this is our farmer's little plot of land. And here's our house. So now we are home, sweet home, with some pale oak logs, some pale oak saplings, but more important, at this point now we have completed our monument of wood. All right. So we'll go ahead and put our pale oak away. We'll put our pale oak saplings away. And we will edit our sign because it is no longer missing. Awesome. Cool. So now that is our completed monument. All of our different wood types. So in the next episode, we can craft ourselves some stone tools. Y'all have a great time. Thanks for watching. Take care.